Okay, we're going to start the little clap off again, ladies and gentlemen, then bring it up. We're going to bring on our next act. And bring it up, and bring it up, and bring it up. Lindsey Booth, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Wes. Do you know, I stepped out here and I looked out at you lot and I thought, you look like really interesting people. And lovely, but really interesting. I'm not interesting. I work in financial services compliance, which basically means I help firms to meet the rules and regulations that the regulator sets for them. It's hilarious, absolutely every day. But you know what? I actually really like following rules. I love following rules, and but I'm also attracted to people who don't follow them. So I kind of like to watch but not participate. I don't know if that's kinky. I don't know, but I get most of my non-compliance pornography from the internet now. There's some really good stuff, actually. Remember the President's Club stuff? I mean, we know a bit about that, but there's some footage out there you may not have seen. There was one guy who had loads and loads to drink, and he put his wine glass on the table next to the coaster, which is quite dirty, I think. And then there was another guy, honestly, this was even worse, and I hope to God his wife didn't see this. Luckily, they pixelated his face. He ate his dinner, but he started with the cutlery nearest his plate and then worked the way out. It's kind of disgusting, isn't it? And obviously, we all know about the man who took his penis out between starter and main course. We all know about that. But that is wrong, I think. There's a time and a place for that. It's clearly during coffee and biscotti. He went way too early. But I just think, I think some people just don't know how to follow rules. They don't know what the rules are, and I think there's not enough clarity about what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable. And this is where rules and regulations can help. They can just clarify it for us. So I'm going to introduce more to my own life, actually. So I've just started seeing somebody fairly recently, and it's going really well. He's fantastic, but we're still learning about each other in the bedroom. So he does certain things I really like, but sometimes he does them a bit too fast. And then, like the next night, completely randomly, he'll do it too slowly. I did confront him, and he says he was distracted by the written instructions that I'd pinned to the headboard. I don't know what's wrong with him, because personally, there's nothing like a standard operating procedure in the bedroom to really get things going. But anyway, so I decided, obviously this is difficult. It's difficult to raise these things, so I'm going to initiate a formal complaints procedure. It's going to make things a lot easier. I'm not going to do anything weird. It's not going to be like a form and a little pen on a chain next to the bed or anything like that, no. It's going to be an online form. So people will go in, you put in your name. Let's imagine this one, name, Lindsey Booth. Nature of complaints. Well, maybe this is going to be a drop-down list. Some of the standard complaints that people have. So maybe there's going to be, foreplay, brackets, lack of. Body odour, that could be another one. Or let's pick cum face. So we'll select that. Oh, there's a pop-up box. It allows me to put in a bit more detail about what my complaint is. So let's fill this in just while we're all here. I don't like your cum face. It makes you look like a CEO of a bank just before a regulator makes a surprise visit. And then, frankly, it's putting me off my own orgasm, which are hard enough to come by without you gurning at me. Submit, I think. That's the sort of thing I'm thinking about. Anyway, I'll obviously work on it a little bit. That's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. What else was I thinking about doing? Something else. I know there was something else. Anyway, so basically, I think I'm not blaming him in the bedroom. We're both there. I'm learning too, but I'm not into this. It's always the man's fault, or it's always the woman's fault. I don't make sweeping statements. Everybody who makes a sweeping statement is an idiot. I don't like that, but I do think maybe that men and women were on a sort of different evolutionary trajectory. It's not easy to say. We're at some sort of crossroads, and there are sort of types of people who maybe evolution's gonna kind of get rid of. So, just an example, there are those women who have these amazing bodies, but they also have a brain. And I think they're gonna have to go. So, seriously, maybe in the future women will just have amazing bodies, no head. Just a little stump at the top. Bear with me, because remember, we used to have tails, didn't we? And evolution decided, we had them for balance, but evolution decided, and Mother Nature said, no, you don't need that anymore. So they kind of withered away, and we just ended up with a little stump there, the coccyx. So maybe that's just what's going to happen with women. They just have a little stump at the top of the neck. And imagine little future Johnny says to his daddy, Daddy, what's that at the top of Mummy's neck? And future Daddy says, well, Johnny, women used to have a head and a brain. It was for balance, but they don't need those anymore. And just to finish, actually, I suggested this to my new partner and said, what if this scientific theory, what if this happened? And he said, don't be ridiculous. I would never be with a woman without a head. And I thought, this could be the right man for me. I'll never be with a woman without a head, he said, because how's she going to give me a blowjob? And I thought, what an absolute shit. And then I thought of a really witty, clever response, really intelligent, and then I thought, no, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Thank you very much.
Brilliant! That was brilliant!